Hello and welcome to my top 30 damn good films of 2018. Yes, I couldn't just leave it at 20. I wanted to talk and give some recognition to the other 30 films that I feel like were worthy of mentioning in 2018. In fact, even going further than that, because I'm working off of my Letterboxd ranking list of all the films I saw in 2018, which is, if I just check, 100 and I don't even know, there's a whole other page. I think it's about 105 films at this point. But I mean, even going down to like 50, 60, 65, 66. Yeah, I mean, you got films like You Were Never Really Here at number 64. Fantastic film. You know, it's just been great. And obviously my personal preference plays into it. But I mean, just looking at like, yeah, down to like 66, Ready Player One. Love that film. Love it. You know, not amazing. So I guess it didn't, you know, it didn't quite get any higher. But for all intents and purposes, this video is my number 50 to my number 21 of 2018. But for the purposes of this video, it's my top 30 damn good films of 2018. Get it? Got it? Good. So, I guess I'll just count it down to number 1, which is really weird. But again, keep in mind, this is not my top 30 of the year. It's my number 50 to number 21, but we'll count it down as if it's 30 to 1. So number 30, we have Minding the Gap, which is nominated for Best Actor. It's nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars this year. It's nominated for Best Documentary at the Oscars this year, and is about, it seems like it's going to be kind of a skating movie, but it's actually more about these 3 childhood friends-ish who are growing up and moving out and dealing with the struggles of life, and it's a fantastic documentary. I soured on it a little bit when I read afterwards that one of the 3 was essentially cast in the film. Yeah, I mean, you know, his life is real. You know, the struggles he goes through are real, and his, you know, he is real. But the director, who's one of the 3, I guess kind of wanted him in the movie, and kind of, you know, the movie makes it seem like they grew up together, and that wasn't the case, and I kind of felt a little bit cheated by that. But it's still a phenomenal film that really raises some important issues. Number 29, Black Panther. Thought it was great. Need to watch it again. I love the Marvel movies, and this is certainly one of the better ones, I think. I thought the hype over Killmonger was a little bit extreme, because I didn't think he was amazing. I thought he was a very good villain, but you know, not incredible. But this had a great vibe to it, something different, fresh. You know, just a completely different culture, and I loved all that because it was just different, and a nice change of pace from most of the other Marvel films' settings and characters. Number 28, The Square. This is a Swedish film that is about the art world, and really it isn't, in a sense. I mean, it's very much a satire on the art world, but you know, the majority of the film is about the art director, the curator of the art museum, having his phone stolen and trying to get it back. Like that. That's kind of the driving force of most of the plot, and it's a 2.5 hour long movie. But I recently did a Conquering My Collection video on this, so if you want to see like my extended thoughts on the film, you can go check that out. I thought it was a great film. Number 27, Mary and the Witch's Flower, the first film from Studio Ponok, which is kind of essentially carrying on the flag from Studio Ghibli. Wonderful film. Didn't get the respect I believe that it kind of deserved. I think it's an excellent fantasy film. Yeah, it has kind of the echoes of Miyazaki, but I mean, these guys worked with Miyazaki, so it doesn't really surprise me all that much. Beautiful animation, great music. I love the score in this film. Yeah, really good stuff. Number 26, Aquaman. Wasn't expecting much from this. Just went to see it because it was the latest blockbuster, and I thought it was a blast. I thought it was so much fun. I really liked the storyline with his parents and how that kind of was set up and paid off. It's fun, it's goofy, it's wacky, it's off the wall. It has kind of a hint of kind of the Indiana Jones adventure, and I think that Jason Momoa is a really fun and charismatic character in Aquaman, so I enjoyed it very much. Number 25, Solo: A Star Wars Story. Yes, Solo, or even, you know, a Star Wars movie in general, is outside my even top 30 of the year, which is kind of crazy. Outside of my top 40 of the year. I loved it though. I thought it was great. It was really skeptical. In fact, I had a conversation about this with someone in work, a customer. She had a bag with The Empire Strikes Back on it, and I said, "Oh, nice bag choice." She said, "Oh," I was like, "That's my favorite film." She said, "Me too." And I said, "What do you think of the new Star Wars film?" She went, "Mixed." And she said to me, "What do you think of Solo?" I said I loved it, and she said, "Yeah, me too." You know, it was just, and I think that there's that kind of surprise in Star Wars fans that they just assumed it was going to suck, and a lot of people didn't go see it, and then it came out on Blu-ray. They watched it, and was like, "Wow, this is really good." Yeah, it's really good. It's an important step for the new Star Wars movies, I think, because it shows you that we can have a Star Wars movie that isn't about the fate of the galaxy. It can just be a fun romp. It doesn't need to be any more grandiose than that, and it can still be really worthwhile. And to me, Solo felt like the kind of movie that George Lucas would have been inspired by to begin with when he was making Star Wars, that kind of pulpy sci-fi space adventure movie, bit of a western, bit of a, you know, just lots of different genres in there, kind of the adventure and I guess the fantasy element isn't too much in Solo, but regardless, I thought it was so much fun. Number 24, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I love this one. I thought this was really, really fun, and I really connected with the main storyline of I forget his name now. Michael Douglas's character, Van Dyne. No, Van Dyne. No, that's the mother's name, Hope Van Dyne. So he is Hank Pym. Hank Pym, of course, and he is looking for his wife. Who is it? Hope or is it Janet? I forget which. The two names get mixed up. You can tell how much I loved this film. I can't remember the names. No, I remember the names. I can't remember which name goes with which character. But regardless, Hank Pym is searching for his wife, who's been, you know, presumably dead for 20 years, and I just really connected to that storyline. It was almost like Ant-Man was secondary to the story, but it was fun. It had good action scenes. I liked the villain, the ghost character. She was more than just a bad guy. She had a kind of an actual backstory that made sense, and it was just really, really fun. Number 23, Bohemian Rhapsody. I thought Rami Malek was incredible. I thought the film was really good. Obviously took a lot of liberties with the real story, and just by the end it really just celebrates Freddie Mercury and Queen, and does it in a really emotional and satisfying way, I thought. And I loved the way it focused on his relationship with, and I forget her name, but the woman who he is for all intents and purposes in love with, and for the rest of his life was very close to. I thought that was a very touching relationship. And yeah, we'll not talk about anything else about that film because you can get into a minefield of discussion over it. Number 22, Private Life, directed by Tamara Jenkins. I believe she wrote the film as well. Another one on Netflix, and I highly recommend it. Paul Giamatti, great. Catherine Hahn, I believe, is her name, who plays the main female character, and they're trying to have a child. They're in their 40s. In New York, and they're trying all, like, adoption is on the cards, IVF is on the cards, and they're then joined by their niece who comes to live with them. She's in her 20s, and it's just a wonderful film. Really funny. There's some moments in this that really made me laugh a lot, but it's a really engaging story where you really feel for the characters and you're really rooting for them to have a child, basically. Number 21, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. The recent film from the Coen brothers, also released on Netflix. There's a recurrent theme here that Netflix are really pumping out some great films, and not just for kind of first-time directors or directors who don't usually get their shake at the big screen releases, but people like the Coen brothers and Alfonso Cuarón, and coming soon Martin Scorsese. But The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, I recorded a review of this, and the audio didn't turn out right, and I really liked the review. I was really succinct. I had everything about each segment because it is an anthology story, an anthology film with lots of different stories. Western, beautiful, like some stunning cinematography, and some of the segments I loved more than others, but overall I thought it was a brilliant experience. I really enjoyed it a lot. Number 20. And I really wanted this to make my actual top 20 of the year, but it wasn't to be, is Lucky, starring Harry Dean Stanton in his final substantial leading role. Rumination on death and existentialism, I suppose, and David Lynch gives one of my favorite performances of the year, actually. The scene where he's talking about his turtle or his tortoise, I forget. And that whole scene, that monologue, is fantastic. I watched that like every day for a week. along with the sequence set to the Johnny Cash song, which was haunting. And yeah, they're a really, really good film. And I have it right here, actually. I actually have a sneaking suspicion that I'll enjoy it more and more as the years go on, and as I watch it again and again. Number 19, Last Flag Flying, Richard Linklater film with Steve Carell, Bryan Cranston, and Lawrence Fishburne. All great, and this one didn't get reviewed very well, but I thought that it was really moving and really funny, and yeah, I thought it was just brilliant, actually. And you know, the only reason it didn't get any higher is because other films were better, I suppose, or I enjoyed them just that little bit more. But it was a really moving tale about a man who has to go and collect the body of his son who died in serving in the military, and calls upon his three friends who he served with many years previously to come and help him to do this. So I love road movies, and it's a true road movie, so that appealed to me already. But you got three great performers, all just having a blast, and also getting to the core of some real emotions and stuff. Number 18, A Star Is Born. It's great. It's a great film. I was really invested. I really liked both performances of Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. The musical scenes were the highlight. I loved how she was on board to essentially kind of almost poke fun at herself, I would say. And if not, I don't see how she doesn't see that. If not poke fun, but I don't know. But it certainly, to me, it seemed like you had this pure singer-songwriter who's, you know, who is beautiful. To me, you know, with her natural hair. Well, I'm not sure if that is her natural hair, but it looked like more natural than how she looks in real life, with her blonde hair. And you know, great voice, and just all about the music. And then she suddenly becomes famous, and then it's all about the kind of the music videos and the pop and the kind of glamour, and that's the stuff I don't find very interesting. And so I don't know if that was a conscious kind of you know, it seems like a self-referential thing. I don't know, but I thought they were both great, and all credit to Bradley Cooper for doing all of that. You know, becoming a musician essentially. The ending was really moving, and overall, I think just a great film. Number 17, Eighth Grade. Oh, love this film so much. Lots of emotions and lots of relatability to someone who is certainly was certainly an awkward kid in high school, and it really captures that, I think, but also is quite moving at times as well. Number 16, First Reformed, written and directed by Paul Schrader, starring Ethan Hawke, in a phenomenal turn, about a reverend who is dealing with a lot of despair and grief, but is really bottling all underneath, and becomes connected with this woman whose husband commits suicide, and she's pregnant, and he also begins to subscribe to the beliefs of her late husband that climate change is something to really be scared of, and to you know, to be taken seriously, and the environment. And he learns that the mega church that owns his First Reformed church is actually connected to and has ties with a corporation that pollutes quite heavily, and so he becomes even more disillusioned with everything, and it leads to one hell of a third act. Number 15, we have Mirai of the Future, I believe is the translated title, from Mamoru Hosoda, an anime from Japan. I like Hosoda. I've only seen, in fact, I was just watching The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and I love that film. And this one is really interesting. It's about this very young boy who has a new sister to contend with, a newborn sister, and how a tree in his garden transports him to different parts of his family's history. And I thought it was a great film. I really loved what they did with the story. The third act was incredible. Beautiful film, as you can expect from most anime, kind of, you know, if it's an anime film that has a bit of a reputation around it, or a director of anime, you come to expect some pretty damn impressive visuals. But I loved the story as well. It really connected with me. Number 14, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Yeah, so that's like my number 34 of the entire year. I mean, this is top 10 of 2018 for sure, like best films. And it's not to say that I didn't like it very much. I thought it was fantastic. I just liked 33 films a little bit more, I suppose. But Frances McDormand, incredible. You know, I love what the film had to say about violence and about revenge and the consequences of that. I wrote a review I was quite proud of, actually, when the film came out. But yeah, fantastic film, no doubt about it. Number 13, Cargo, another Netflix film starring Martin Freeman. This is, I guess you'd call it post-apocalyptic kind of movie, but a very simple tale of a man and his wife and their very young child as they try to navigate a very dangerous world. And, you know, you take that kind of survival story and you throw in a very young child into the mix, and it becomes just like tension all the time, you know. And I was racked and wrought with tension, and I thought it was just tremendously moving towards the end. That's what really bumped it up the kind of list for me. And I thought Martin Freeman was fantastic, to the surprise of absolutely no one. Number 12, The Shape of Water. I'd also put that in my top 10 best films of the year. I think it's just such a complete film. It is such a visionary movie, I think, and rightfully won the Oscar last year. It's just, you know, yeah, you have a performance where the lead character, played by Sally Hawkins, is mute and has no dialogue and knocks it out of the fucking park. She's so great. She made you know, I became a big fan of her from that film. Like she really made a fan of me from her performance in The Shape of Water. But everything from the production design to the music, it just felt like such a complete vision executed on screen, completely unencumbered with any studio notes. Like it really felt like Guillermo del Toro made exactly the film he wanted to, and there was something really exciting about that. Number 11, Hereditary. Holy moly. I mean, it may have made, you know, my top 10 best films of the year, but I mean, I don't know if I'd ever want to watch it again. It was so harrowing, and harrowing enough that I could barely say harrowing. God, horrifying. Just, I mean, and Toni Collette, she doesn't deserve an Oscar for that role. She deserves like 5 Oscars. Like, holy shit. Incredible. I mean, I was just like that, kind of holding my breath for like 2 hours straight. Didn't like the last 5 minutes of the film. That's probably why I don't rate it as highly as it probably could be. But otherwise, just amazing film. Number 10, mid-90s, Jonah Hill's directorial debut. A skating movie set in the 90s, and I just bought and believed everything, you know, apart from the fact that you have is it Catherine Waterston and Lucas Hedges, who are, you know, actors that I recognize. Take them out of the equation, I could believe this is like was made in the 90s because I don't recognize any of the actors, and I believe it was mainly non-actors, and so you slide right into this believable world of skate culture in LA in the 90s, and it fits. And I thought the main actor was great, and I loved the story of him kind of, you know, it's not an easy story. It's not a kind of happy-go-lucky thing. It's there's a real struggle to certain families, lower class families, I think, and kids who have nothing to do but to kind of go out there and fend for themselves and kind of try and make friends where they can, and often that leads to bad things. Sometimes it doesn't, and you make the best of it, and I thought it was a great film. My number 9 damn good film of 2018 is Bad Times at the El Royale. Great film, really, really fun. It's hurt somewhat by people constantly comparing it to Tarantino. Oh, it's like a Tarantino movie because it has chapters in it. You know, like he somehow has the monopoly on sectioning off movies into chapters. But I get it. The feel of it is certainly it seems to come from his wheelhouse, I suppose. But I thought there was a great ensemble cast. There's some really great moments of you know, visual direction there as far as the way the thing is shot, the way that it's all been staged, and leads to a really cool and fun finale. And it's so much fun. I could see myself watching this again and again because it's so entertaining, and the intrigue of the plot is really, really good and really well done and structured and layered throughout those chapters. Number 8. My eighth damn good film of 2018 is Hirokazu Koreeda's Shoplifters. I really thought this might have been higher on my list. Something about it left me a little bit not as enamored as some of his other masterpieces, which is, you know, it's a high bar to kind of get close to, but this is a great film about family, and about a very unlikely family. I don't want to say any more than that, but it's just, it's gripping, and the last shot will tear your fucking heart out, and if it doesn't, then there's something wrong with you, I think. But I thought it was a fantastic film. I think I'll enjoy it more the second time now that I know everything, because it doesn't tell you anything at the beginning, and you learn the inner workings and the kind of the function of that family that we follow throughout the entire film as the film goes on, and it really takes a turn for, you could say, the worse, maybe the better. Who knows? It's up for you to decide the morality of that. But anyway, my number 7 damn good film of 2018 is another one I would probably put in the top 10 best of the year, and it is Phantom Thread. Another film that feels pretty much complete as a vision, as a film. Daniel Day-Lewis gives the finest performance of his career, and I've seen, you know, no other performance that he's done. So who am I to judge? This is the only Daniel Day-Lewis performance I've ever seen, but I thought he was wonderful. I thought he was fantastic. What a character! The quirks and the irritants and the perfectionism. Such a complete character, I think. And the actress who plays his girlfriend is excellent, and Leslie Manville, fantastic. And that's it. When you're dealing with these films in top lists, for me, it's just fantastic, brilliant, wonderful, beautiful. It is what it is. But Phantom Thread, it might even go up once I watch it again. I think it could have a chance of cracking the top 20. Anyway, my number 6 damn good film of 2018 is Creed 2. Oh, what a film. Brilliant stuff. I might even enjoy it a little bit more than the first Creed, which I loved as well. Stallone is great as ever. Michael B. Jordan is even better than he was before. And I loved the Drago storyline, because it was a lot more nuanced than anything you saw in the entirety of Rocky 4, I think. And there's a real rousing quality to it, and I think it's a fantastic film. Number 5, my 5th damn good film 2018, Searching. Now this, I believe if this film had, like, Alfred Hitchcock directed at the beginning, people would be calling it a masterpiece. I think that, you know, yeah, there's a few things, it's like, oh, is it a bit convenient, or it's just kind of there to kind of service the tension of the plot, sure, but I loved everything about this, and I love different approaches to telling a story, and this one is one of those kind of told on the computer screen entirely stories, and this is easily the best one of those to date. And John Cho, I believe, he carries the film. It's him for like the majority of the movie, and I buy every second of panic that goes through him, every second of anger, and you know, about a guy's his daughter goes missing, and he's trying to piece together why she went missing by using her computer and going through messages and finding things and discovering things and searching for his daughter. Just a great film, I think. And my number 4, the 4th damn good film of 2018, Annihilation. What other word can I use except for wonderful, brilliant, amazing, awesome science fiction film. Great, for the most part, female cast. You know, they're all brilliant, and this psychedelic kind of adventure in a way, but like a kind of a deep journey for all of them, but particularly Natalie Portman's character, who is searching for, if not her husband, played by Oscar Isaac, then the reason for her husband's disappearance. And actually, not his. No, I forgot for just a second there. He disappeared and came back, but he's not the same. So she's looking for a reason as to why he's not the same. That's it. And it's this, you know, haunting story that really leaves an impression on you. That whole third act, holy shit. I like that kind of stuff, I really do. And yeah, the film impressed me to no end. My 3rd damn good film of 2018, Avengers Infinity War. I think one of the best comic book movies. It takes everything that kind of big crossover event issue would do in a comic book and puts it on the big screen in a way you've never seen before. Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, all fighting against this supervillain. Like, what? Uh, it builds upon itself. There are these. I mean, I went to the midnight premiere and people exploded when Thor arrived on Wakanda, and I'd never experienced that in a UK cinema before, so that was just such a thrill. And I've seen it a few times, and it's epic storytelling. And how the fuck does it even work? There's so many main characters, and they just pulled it off almost effortlessly. It's a great film, and once you've seen it a couple of times and you're ready for it, what an ending! Just great. I can't wait for Endgame. And my second damn good film of 2018 is Lady Bird. I believe written, if not definitely directed, by Greta Gerwig, and starring Saoirse Ronan, who is totally believable. You know, for an Irish girl with a very distinct accent, she sure pulls off that kind of, you know, is it Sacramento? Is that California? Regardless, the American accent is flawless. So I'm not even thinking about it or kind of judging it or critiquing it. I'm just reading in the character. Hugely explosive family drama and teen drama and love and all that stuff. And I fell in love with this. It was such a great coming of age story that was honest and truthful, which is exactly the same as honest. But that's it. It just felt very honestful, truth-y. I don't know. I'm just coming back to that. That's really what it felt like. It felt authentic. There we go. There's another term that is exactly the same as honest and truthful. And really funny too. There's just great moments. And finally, my number one damn good film of 2018, so essentially my number 21 overall, is Love, Simon. What a film. Thought it would just be that generic kind of teen romance, you know, drama, comedy, and it was that. It was that, but it was more than that. I was pretty much almost crying tears of joy near the end of that. I just thought it was beautiful, and you know, about a kid who's gay and he has a secret blog, and it all sounds very trashy, kind of bad teen movie, but I was quite taken with it. I loved the mystery of this boy who replied to his blog, and they kind of had a little bit of an internet romance, but he doesn't know who he is, and so he's constantly wondering if someone he knows is that person. And the film plays around with our expectations and guesses of who that might be. But I really liked the relationship with his girlfriend, who, you know, that was an interesting kind of dynamic to it. And then we have his parents and how they deal with the fact that he's gay when he comes out. Josh Duhamel was great in the film, and I've always been, well, not always, but I've been a fan of him for many years, and always thought he was quite underrated and should kind of get better roles, and this seems to be one of those. And the actor who played the main character I thought was great. Seen him in something else, I think The Kings of Summer he was in, which was a really good film from 2013. But yeah, this one I just it's probably the fact I wasn't expecting it that I kind of rated it so highly, but I really have nothing bad to say about it, and I thought that it's just such a fucking great feel-good film. And yeah, I was just really bowled over by it, as you can tell. So there we go. That has been my top 30 damn good films of 2018, aka my number 50 to number 21 overall. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts down below on any of the ones that I've talked about, and just for future reference, in case I never do get around to my 2018 version of
the list.
Other notable films I thought were great: I, Tonya, Free Solo, The Crimes of Grindelwald, Tomb Raider, I thought was a fucking incredible adventure movie. Journeyman, Paddy Considine, brilliant. First Man, fantastic. Unsane, Ghost Stories, really good, really rewards repeated viewings. And The Old Man and the Gun, Bumblebee was like a delight. The Mowgli movie I thought was great. There's one thing I hated about it, but for the most part I thought it was great. Red Sparrow, really underrated. Ready Player One. And then you get down to like Bird Box, Kodachrome, Finding Your Feet, Thoroughbreds, The Endless, Mute, Upgrade, Sorry to Bother You, Halloween, Deadpool 2, and these are all just, you know, pretty good films. Suspiria, you know. And then there's not too much more. Well, that's maybe a few surprising ones near the bottom of my list, but that is it for now. Stay tuned. I will hopefully be doing
the list
in a couple of months, and I'll be more rapid fire so I can get through it in less than 3,000 hours. And I might even chop around my top 20 a little bit once I have rewatched some of those films. Anyway, so thank you for joining me on this very long journey through essentially my top 50 films of the year, assuming you've seen my top 20 of 2018 as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.